That was when my life changed forever.
So the big question is, what are the top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate, grow their teams, and add more transactions year over year while so many struggle? If you ever thought about this, you're not alone. No one has been able to get the answers until now.
We spent the last few years helping agents sell billions in real estate, rubbing shoulders with top producers, which got us thinking, how can we expose more people to these insights to help raise the standard in the whole real estate industry? We then realized that we could help bridge the gap by getting the secrets from the best of the best so that you can succeed. My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Elite Agent Secrets.
So other than like FSBOs and expireds, if somebody's looking to, get into the listing side, what's like the number one action or set of actions that you can share with us and the audience that can basically catapult them into kind of walking down a similar path, right? Because a lot of people are going to be like saying, oh, FSBOs expires don't work. Obviously, you've just proved that to be false and not true.
I can tell you they work, and I'll tell you the next thing that works, and it'll always work. And that is, there's two approaches you can take. We built before we moved over to EXP, we built an entire business model around prospecting neighborhoods. And we did a survey. We did a survey for who's thinking of selling in the next 12 months. And we built up an enormous list. So I'll tell you how badass this was. It's crazy. And it's only because of Michael Reese. He's the one that really, my business partner was the one that we were doing this. We weren't actually in the business of selling anymore. We have a coaching training organization. And so we were partnering with agents and helping them grow their business, and we were going to do the thing that other people weren't willing to do. And I'll tell you where it came from. So there's two strategies. Well, first of all, it's understanding that what does a seller want to know, and why do they usually end up talking to a real estate agent in the first place? What do y'all think that is? What does a seller want to know about their property right before they decide to sell it?
How much can I get?
It, right. So like that never is going to change. Right. So in a million years, you can come up with a lot of different ideas in marketing and stuff, but that one's always going to be true. They're always going to want to know what the house is worth. And so while there's plenty of places to go, to try to find that information, most of it's still not accurate, believe it or not, today. And so they want to know what their house is worth. So they'll almost always bite on the find out what your home is worth type marketing. And so
but Jay, those ads don't work. The home evaluations. We hear that all the time.
Yeah. Let me tell you what doesn't work. Agents don't work. And that's the truth. And we had hired, so let me tell you what we did. We hired, and this was Mike was running this. I was running the coaching organization. Mike was running a pilot, basically a business model called Partner, where we were partnering with agents. We would build their personal brands. We would call the entire marketplace for them. And we had about 15 ISAs and basically a call center. And this was all happening while we were building the technology. I mean, we were like, it was like he was flying the plane while he was building the plane. But we did by October of that year, from starting in December, January timeframe, we had 400 and something thousand, almost maybe it was $500,000 in commissions on the books. And all we did was canvas. That's it. And so like, there's just no question it works, right? Like if you're broke, pick up the phone. Like people, you're going to talk to a lot of people. We just had that part dialed in. You can get a dialer for $100, something like that a month. And, to get the data and the information is not that difficult. And most of the tools like RedX is a great tool for this. You can make those calls and do that. And you can turn that into a significant business. And so like that was, that's just, if you're committed to it, that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is building your brand and kind of becoming the go-to person. And what I was going to mention about marketing, I don't think I completed the thought, was, marketing is, when I said reach and frequency, it's like, it's how many people see the reach is how many people see the message. Frequency is how often they see it. And, there's a few different, philosophies on this. What I've come to find is that, people need to see your message up to 21 times before they actually remember they actually ever saw you or know what the hell it is you do. And so the signs, this is also why the signs work so well. They drive by them every single day. You're getting impression. And when I started doing radio and I had success with radio, I only did one spot a day, which is not what a radio station would ever sell you. I only did one spot a day. It was at 750. There was 55,000 listeners on this particular station. And they said about 8,000 of them listening at 7:50 a.m. every day. My spot was a first in rotation, sounded live, but it was at the exact same time every single day. And the 8,000 people that listened to that ad, that listened to it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, within 3 weeks of me running radio, I was getting people calling me saying, I want you to come list my house. I'll never forget it as long as I live. I walked in the office one day and I had two people that had those little message pads that people that wanted to list their house with me, and I didn't know who the hell they were. That was when my life changed forever, because I was used to pounding the phones all day to get business. And this was the first time that people I didn't know had been listening to the radio station. So out of that 8,000 people, I became top of mind. When they thought of real estate, they thought of me. And so that once I saw that work, and then I understood why it worked and why everything else on radio doesn't work, right? Like people say a run of schedule, you may never hit that same person enough times in order for them to think of you first. But it worked really well, because now I didn't get the whole station of people listening, but I got 8,000 people that they felt like they knew who I was. They felt like, I remember one day on the radio, somebody called in and said, this is how long ago this was too, by the way. They said, there's three things I know I'm going to hear in the morning on K-Law. One's Shania Twain, the other's Toby Keith, and the other's Jay Kinder. Like, I became a part of the station. And so that was when I started understanding marketing and the power of it. I was like, well, this is amazing. This is way better than making calls. And so most people struggle with it because it's expensive, right? Like radio wasn't that expensive, but if you're going to do it with direct mail, then you're going to be, until you mail them, enough times, they're not going to think of you first. It better have your face and your brand on it. It better have something memorable that they're going to Google, because they're not going to go get the postcard and go to the website. They're going to Google what they remember. They're going to Google, what's that guy's name again? Jay Kinder. What pops up? It better be a site that talks to them about getting their home sold or whatever. And so, you have to, learn about marketing. I mean, I think it's a skill that's worth learning, because you can really never be broke if you understand marketing. And in this business, you can literally learn to spend $500 and make $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 commission. Like, you'd be crazy not to. I mean, how many of us would trade our money, 500 for 15,000? How many times would you do it? Every single time, as many times as you'll trade me. But most agents aren't willing to learn the skill of marketing. And so I'm just dumb enough to know, and have been dumb enough to always know, that there's somebody that knows how to do this better than me, and I will pay them whatever I got to pay them to learn that skill. And so, I've coached him with anybody that sells anything. I paid them. There's nobody that didn't get my money. And all my mentors, and I've paid the highest ticket price. I spent $38,000 to spend a day with Dan Kennedy. I spent $40,000 or $50,000 a day for Jay Abraham 3 different times. And every single time I've gotten more value out of that than what it cost me. It's never been a time that I've lost when I've invested in myself or in the skills that I needed to gain to be successful in real estate. It's like, that's something that, I know some people are afraid to spend money, but you have to invest if there's anything you can invest in yourself, that's where you're going to get the greatest return.
There's 2 things that I want to touch on. One, I don't know if this was him that said it, but I'll give him credit because this is where I heard it. And I think it's so catchy that I've not forgotten it. Right. And I heard it from originally Grant Cardone, which was best known beats best.
Yeah.
And I've never forgotten it. Yeah. Because he's like, listen, you can be the best in the world at like selling homes. But if no one knows who you are, and there's that guy down the street that's crap at selling homes, but everyone knows who he is, he's going to get all the homes. It doesn't matter how good you are. It's about how top of mind you are. Yeah. Just, think about your day-to-day life. When someone asks you for a recommendation, you recommend that person, and you think, who have I just recommended? And it's like, oh, because I saw them yesterday, an hour ago, 3 days ago, and then they just came top of mind for that one little thing, right? Yeah. So I mean, that's something I've always remembered. Like, building a brand is something. Obviously, you're still reaping the rewards of building a brand to this day, and you will for basically the rest of your life. Jay Abraham, for those that don't know, this is a guy that still is reaping the rewards of building a brand for a long time. And I think the other thing, and this is a bit of a catch-22, because obviously what we're trying to do here and what we're doing on all our podcasts and all our content is actually giving away all this amazing actionable content for free. Now, this is a bit of a catch-22, because the problem with free content, which is what we're trying to push through, is people don't value it, right? They're like, it's free, it can't be that valuable.
Right.
the reason that when you pay for something, I'm sure you experience this, we all have, that when you go and pay someone 10 grand for something, your ears are on stalks, your eyes are on stalks, you are notes, your hand hurts, your wrist hurts from taking all the notes. You're asking if you can record it. You're doing all this because you are determined that you've spent that amount of money, you are going to get value out of the thing you spent the money on. So when you went to Sergey Abraham, he's a genius, again, for anyone who doesn't know, but there is other people that know the same stuff that I imagine he told you in the world that would give it to you for free. But there isn't the same exchange going on because because he's built a brand, for one, so you know he's real. Like, he's legit, he's done it. And the other one is that because you haven't exchanged the money, if it was like a free webinar, you probably would be watching, I don't know, The Simpsons eating like whatever, and then you might stick it on and be like half listening, and then it gets to the end of it and you turn it off. So like, there has got to be a value exchange. And, what we're doing here is time for the actionable content. Listen to our podcast, head over to the website, get all this free content. It's, phenomenal stuff. So Jay, this has been insane. You have dropped so many actionable tips for everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure. Now, I want to give you the opportunity. If someone, wants to reach out, wants to learn more of your strategies, tips, tricks, like from, if anyone doesn't know, you're part of Michael Reese as well. I know he does a lot of stuff. That's a shout out to you, Michael, to come on the show. How can they reach out to you, your team, learn more?
Man, I'm pretty easy to find, but I'm most entertaining on the gram. So, go, if you have Instagram, you just look me up, Jay Kinder, or I think it's Jay Kinder 82. That's an easy way to find me. Easy way to get in my calendar, get my phone number, text me, call me, whatever. But that's probably the easiest way to find me for most people.
Amazing. Well, thanks everyone for listening to this episode, and we'll see you in the next one. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode. Now, before you go, we're giving access to a private training we did where we revealed the top 3 niches to get listings today completely for free. So if you want access, you can go and download that training at eliteagentsecrets.com. We're regularly releasing new trainings, guides, and cheat sheets, so make sure to head over to eliteagentsecrets.com and sign up so you don't miss out.